today with author Ralph Mosgrove. He is the author of Saying Thanks and Beyond. Is saying thank you enough? That's a question. Welcome, Ralph. Can I call you Ralph?
Yes, please do.
Welcome to our show, Books of the Month. It is an honor to have you. Before we begin talking about your book, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I had a 26-year career in the Navy.
Okay.
And when I got ready to retire, I asked the Lord, what do you want me to do? And he said, I want you to prepare for the pastoral ministry. And so I went in and finished my studies in theology, so that I already had my degree, but I finished the theology part of it. And then I pastored the Church of the Nazarene for 25 years in St. Petersburg, Florida.
In St. Petersburg, Florida.
Right.
Okay.
And then after that, I retired from the pastorate and went to work as the organist and choir director for MacDill Air Force Base Chapel in Tampa, Florida. I did that for 13 years until my wife's health broke. And then I took care of her for 2 years until she passed away in 2015. And at her death, I wrote the book, which says Saying Thanks and Beyond.
Well, you have a lot to say thank you.
That's right.
God has really been good to you. So you pastored for 25. You were choir director and organist for
MacDill Air Force Base Chapel.
For how long?
13 years.
13 years.
And 26 years in the Navy.
26 years in the Navy. Can I ask how old are you? It's okay to ask a man how old he is.
Absolutely. I'm 84 now. I'll be 85 in July.
You don't look like you're 84, man. You don't look like you're 84. Listen, maybe I may just need to go down to St. Petersburg.
Yeah, you did. That's right.
A little bit more. Well, it's great having you here. What was your inspiration for writing the book?
Well, my wife fell and broke her back in 2008. And when that happened, she would have to use a walker because she was disabled. And everywhere she went, people would step forward to open the door for her. We'd approach a building. Well, I thought about that after she passed away because she had said to me many times, what more can I say than thank you after they've been so kind to me? It seems so trite for such a nice thing for somebody to do. And when I think about it, these people that have done that, I have no way of knowing who they are. I'll never meet them again, but they stopped their world to allow her to have her moment to get through the door and give her the help that she needed. And I think that's a way that I need to recognize them. Maybe the book will reach their pathway somewhere. If not, at least there will be others who have done that, stepping forward and doing something kind for somebody and need to be said thank you to remind them of what they've done for us. They've given us a gift of themselves, which has been an inspiration for me to write the book.
A gift of themselves.
Right.
That is so awesome. Gratitude is very, very, very important to God.
Yes.
He wants us to render gratitude and appreciation.
That's right.
And a lot of times we pray and we ask for more, while failing yet to thank Him for what He has already done for us. Gratitude plays a very, very important role. Is thank you enough? Is it?
Well, I don't think it is.
Okay.
I think that there are many ways to say thank you. Sometimes we say it very tritely because it just is an automatic response for somebody that does something for us. Like if somebody hands us a piece of paper or a book or something, we say thank you.
And we really don't
It's a common word that we just let it roll off our tongue. But when somebody takes their life and stops what they're doing and then allows us to move forward in our life, that is something worthy of notation. And so when we would talk about it, she said, what more can I say? So we agreed that maybe this should add a few extra words, such as, that was really a big help to me. I couldn't have made that without you. Or, thank you so much. I really appreciate your help. Adding words to the thank you, because then that gives the person a sense of really appreciated for what they did. And by saying that, it encourages them to want to do it again. It also encourages me to want to be that kind of person.
Awesome. So in actuality, what you're saying is saying thank you plus rendering a few accolades here and
That's
there.
right.
Would get the job done.
Yes.
Is that something that you practice regularly?
Well, it is really, because in the pastorate, I've always had a lot of people that I've been responsible to, and I thank them for the contribution they make to my congregation and to the congregation themselves, who have been very faithful to support me and give me the help that I need in the church. And so we'd often have thank you dinners, or means by which we say
thank you dinner.
Yeah, saying thank you for your help and your contribution and support for the past year, especially in the leadership. I've recommended in the book that pastors could take this book and pass it out to their staff, either their office staff or the people that are under the leadership that they have, or even to the Department of Sunday School, missions people, the people that run the church. and say, this is a book that I read and I think you should have it. I want to tell you, I thank you for what you've contributed to the church, and here's the way I want to make that known. And so I think it's a good way of saying thanks to somebody who's done something good for you.
How do we get that message over to the younger generation?
Well, it's interesting. I've had a survey done, and through my printer, my publishers, and they tell me that the biggest interest has been with men that are in the age bracket of 24 to 36.
Those are the ones that seemingly have lost their mind. I don't know if I should say that. I don't know. But yeah, seemingly they've lost their mind when it comes to certain concepts.
That's right.
So how do we get that message to them? Because seemingly they're so ungrateful.
Well, I think a lot of it has to do with how they've been trained. They probably have not had the same background that I've had, and with a lot of older people that have had. But I think one way to break into their mold is to say thank you to them for little things. And be more than just saying thank you. What you've contributed here today, for example, your staff met me at the door today, and I didn't say more than thank you, other than the fact that they greeted me and brought me in. But that takes a lot of energy on their part and an interest in the job that they have.
That's true.
And they need to be told thank you once in a while for the things they do. It may be very small, it may be very insignificant to most people, but to a person who has a thankful heart, they want to say thank you and let the person know that you really appreciate what they did.
That is so true. That is really true. I tend to thank God on a regular basis, of course,
Yes.
daily.
Yes.
I thank Him for everything.
Oh, that's right.
There are times I would thank God for the sun, the moon, the stars, the clouds.
Right.
And another thing, I just do not believe in a bad day or a good day. This is me personally. Or bad weather, or a good weather. Why is it that when it's raining, it is to be considered as bad weather? Now, imagine Earth without any rain.
That's right.
We need the rain.
That's right.
Growing up in South Carolina, my grandfather, of course, he told me to shut up. Whenever it was thundering and lightning outside, right, he would say, sit down, keep still, God is working. So my question to him when I was 7 years old, well, if God is working when it's thundering and lightning and I have to sit down, who's working when the sun is out?
That's right.
So we should be grateful for all seasons,
That's right.
all things, because it takes all things
That's right.
to work together.
Well, I've used a phrase, which I've used as illustration in my message, that if we're going to grow spiritually, we have to have the hard places to go through. It has to be rain and sunshine, because all sunshine creates a desert. And that's, you don't want to be in a desert all the time. No.
There you go. You don't want too much sunshine. So we should be grateful.
We have to have both. It's moderation.
Grateful for family members. God, I thank you. And this is something else I do. I thank God for my family, of course, the church that I pastor.
Yes.
Even my ancestors.
Yes, that's right. Think of the heritage I have, or we all have. You and I together.
Correct.
You know, we come from a chain of people that believed in the Lord and raised their family, and that family raised me, and here I am trying to raise my family.
Exactly.
And teach them how to love the Lord and live for the Lord. And showing kinds of acts of kindness is a way in which we can say that to our generation that's past us. We're saying thank you to them by the way we act today.
You have a little boy. Tell me a little bit about this little boy.
Well, he just an article, a print that I picked up off of the internet in a series of pictures that I could have chosen. But he does represent
so you have
me.
Somebody's child. You just don't
That's
know
right.
his
I don't know who it is. But he looks very much like I looked in that age.
Okay.
I was a blonde-haired, tow-haired, little blue-eyed boy. And,
Okay.
And so he reminded me of myself.
I can see you.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
So
okay.
I thought maybe it'd be a good option for people to look at. And I think it's attractive to men as well as women.
Okay.
I think a man will pick that book up more than if it said thanks with a little note and a ribbon on it and a pen,
Oh, there
which
you
the
go.
girls would go for, but the guys would not.
Good choice.
So-
Good choice. In your book, you wrote about the ripple effect. What is that? The
Yes.
ripple effect.
When you drop a coin in or a rock in the pond is going to have ripples that go out to the borders of that
Yes.
pond, and then they come back to that original point, and they keep going back and forth as long as the power is going from there. Well, my feeling is that when you do that, you're dropping an act of kindness, which is a ripple that drops a moment in the life of somebody, and in that process, that ripple goes out beyond where you are, reaches whatever dimensions it's going to touch, and then comes back to you. In other words, it not only goes one direction, but it comes back in the same direction. It comes back the same way it goes out. I used the example of an echo. Little Johnny was playing out in the meadow, and he was playing and shouting and enjoying himself and making noise, and he heard a little boy in the woods mocking him or saying things to him in response to what he was saying. So he called the little boy and said, "Why don't you come out and play with me?" And the little boy came back, "Why don't you come out and play with me?" And he did that a few times, and the little boy would not come out. And so he went home and told his mother that there was a little boy in the wood who would not come out and play with him. He was calling to him out, but he wouldn't come. His mother said, "Oh, no, Johnny, there's no little boy in the wood. That's your echo. What you speak and what goes out comes back to you the same way you send it."
Wow.
And so that is the way I feel the ripple effect affects you. And the echo, when we do good things, they're going to go out and do something for other people. They're going to inspire that person to be a better person as a result of it.
And you also have to take into consideration certain laws in the universe, such
Yes.
as the law of reciprocity. Also, something that a lot of individuals are becoming more familiar with in this day and age, the law of attraction.
Yes.
Whatever you put out, you're going to get back. Of course, the law of reaping and sowing.
Yes.
Whatsoever man soweth, so shall he also
reap.
reap.
That's
And
right.
so showing acts of kindness to others, it's inevitable. It's going to come back.
That's right.
One way or the other. And I found it so amazing that we do not have the power to decide of how it comes back.
That's right.
But whenever it comes back, it's always awesome and on time.
Well, you want it to be good, so you're going to have to sow good seed in order to get this good seed back.
Exactly.
Now, I understand as I read the scriptures that it says that the tongue has the power of life and death. And so I want to create life in the life of people. I don't want to say words that are going to destroy them or to put them down or be mean to them.
That's right.
Because then that comes back to me the same way.
That
I
is
want
so
to
true.
speak power of life into the person that's there. And so by saying thank you and how much I appreciated what they did is giving them an encouragement and a strength in their own life.
Whatever is in your mouth
Yeah,
is going to be in your life.
that's right.
That's what I often tell
That's right.
people. Hands and feet, that's another portion of your book.
Yes.
Tell me about the body language, the whole concept of body language.
Well, I think if we look at people, we watch them. I sit in the mall and watch people coming and going. And many of them have a very serious look on their face, sometimes frowning. And I wonder what problems they're going through. And if I have somebody that does an act of kindness to me and I give them a frown like, "What'd you do that for?" or just, shove it off and not even mention it, that's not a correct reaction to something that someone has done for you. So by using the hands to say thank you, reaching out to thank them for what they did, or to pat them on the arm, just give them a little touch. We live in such a society where we have a high-tech visibility but a low-touch reality. And just even putting a hand on someone's arm to say thank you for what you did for me will help them to recognize that you really are sincere in what you're saying. And so hands and feet, eyes, face, facial expression covers a multitude of areas for good. I mean, just walking around with a smile on your face when you have no reason to smile, but smile because you wanted to. It creates an atmosphere of pleasant atmosphere and creating a sense of people wanting to be around you. People talk to me about all the time that I smile all the time. Well, I try to keep that going. I don't want to discourage them. But just by being in the right place at the right time, saying the right thing, and presenting yourself in a manner that makes people want to be like you is an inspiration to them. I feel like that's my whole life. That's what I've devoted myself to, is helping to raise people above their level of the sin that they're in, the life that they've been living, give them a chance to develop their life into something that's new and give it how to find that abundant life.
That is so true. With love and kindness have I drawn thee.
That's right.
With love and the kindness.
Right. That's right.
It's not enough to just say I love you either.
No.
But there are acts of kindness that should be rendered also.
That's right.
To go with the love.
That's
because
right.
love is an action. Love is not what it says, but it is what it does.
That's right.
And so your book is not just for men's ministry.
That's right.
Or women's ministry. It's for
Your children.
your children.
Absolutely. I had school teachers come through from the American Library Association and the National Education Association at some of the book signings I did. And when I told them what the book was about, they said, "Oh, this is just exactly what I need for my classroom. I'm going home and take this to my school classroom." And then one lady said, "Oh, my Sunday school could absolutely use this. The children need to hear this message." And so when people read it and they see it, and they actually have a chance to apply it, they find that there's something to value to all generations.
Even the children.
That's right. It's not just a generational book because I'm an older person wrote it. It reaches every child, and they need to hear it, and the parents need to teach it.
Of course. In your book, do you talk about anything that you would possibly be thankful for?
I didn't give you any illustrations in there other than the fact that people were so kind to my wife when she needed the help. And even though I was there to help her, they stepped forward to do that, render their help. But acts of kindness is a characteristic of the fruit of the Spirit. Kindness is in that list of those nine evidences of the fruit of the Spirit, of the Holy Spirit. Mm-hmm. So when we think about kindness, I want it to be so that people will want to do more of it and pass it on to the next person, be encouraged in what they've done. Now, when I was younger and in an age in my 60s, I had to have cancer surgery.
Okay.
And when I was praying about it, I, of course, had the church praying for me, and I had people all over the world praying for me. I had friends on the mission field and buddies in the Navy. And one day, as I was approaching the surgery, I asked the Lord if he would continue. I kept asking him if he would heal me. He said, "Do you believe in healing?" And I said, "Yes, I do." He said, "Then why are you asking me all the time about something you believe in? Why don't you just start praising me?" And so I began to thank him for what he was going to do for me, because I knew it was already done. And I came through the surgery. I've been a cancer survivor for over 25 years.
That is awesome.
And God is just, I just thank the Lord for it.
Instead of asking him for
That's
it,
right.
Thank him for it,
Praise
because
him.
by his stripes you're already healed.
That's right.
Praise, wow, the power of praise. The golden rule.
Yes.
What is the golden rule?
The golden rule says that you want to treat others like you'd like to be treated. And so when I think about people doing acts of kindness, I think that what they're doing is actually playing out that role of treating others as they would want to be treated. Now, they may not be thinking about that when they do it. It's just their generous spirit says, "I want to help this lady that I see that's disabled." Could be a mother with her arm full of children and bundles that have to somebody to take care of her and give her some help, or any number of circumstances. It's not just the fact that my wife was on a walker. But when you step forward to give something of yourself, you are practicing the golden rule. You're treating someone else the way you would want to be treated if you were in that situation.
Correct.
And so I think that's evidence that people actually have a loving spirit within them in order to do that. If they're a mean-spirited person, they don't care about anybody else but themselves. But a person that has love, and that has to be from the Lord, or they have a spirit that wants to be used to help other people, that's a generous spirit, and that they display it by the way they treat other people.
That is so
They're
true.
practicing out the golden rule.
That is so true. You don't hear a whole lot about the golden rule anymore these days.
That's right.
You don't hear. It's not doing to others as you would have them to do unto you. You don't hear a lot of that.
That's
Treat
right.
your neighbor as you treat yourself. Now it's all about you and yourself and what you desire, what you want, and getting over on
That's
people.
right. That's right. One-upmanship.
Say that again?
One-upmanship.
One.
They want to get ahead of the other person.
Oh, yes.
One-upman.
Yes, I agree with you. I wonder, why is it like that?
Well, I suppose it comes from the nature of the beast. We are all human beings, and we all come from the same cloth. And some of us have learned how to be responsible and responsive to the needs around us and want to make other people feel good about themselves, so we try to lift them up by being encouraging to them. I'm reminded of the words of Jesus' mother when he was at the wedding, and she said to his servants there when the wine was emptied out, and she said, "Whatever he says to you, do it."
Do it.
And so that's what I say with the book. If you want to help somebody read the book, do it. And then do what it says. Say thanks to somebody and give them a thank you card, a thank you note for whatever they did that maybe they need to be thanked for. Or send a note to the teacher in school and say, "I thank you for the way you've treated my child in this past year."
That's
I mean, a school teacher would never expect that from a parent.
That is true.
But if we say thanks to people, it's going to come back to us the same way we spent it.
My wife is good for that type of thing.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, she's always sending gifts, saying thank you. I'm like, what are you sending this for?
That's right.
Because they did this, that, and the other, and I want to say thank you.
That's right.
She loves saying thank you and going beyond.
That's right.
So I guess her answer would be no, thank you is not enough. You should also render acts of kindness.
Do something to show it.
Exactly. Where can we find this book?
It is ordered through Amazon.com or through Page Turner Press and Media. They are the the publisher of the book right now. It is on Amazon, and also Barnes & Noble has it in their stores. It can be ordered, or sometimes some stores have it on the shelf.
Okay.
But it can be ordered anytime.
Okay.
And I have other interviews in places that remind people where to get it, as well as on the YouTube. My name is listed there, and I have several things on YouTube that represent what I've done.
Just Ralph Mosgrove.
That's right, and it'll all come up. Right.
Okay, awesome. On YouTube.
Yes.
That's. Do you have a website?
Yes, it's called Author Ralph Mosgrove.
Okay, awesome. Will you be writing anymore?
Yeah, I have one in
I
the
mean,
mill.
you're
I have one.
only 84.
I have two in the incubator.
Okay.
One is already at the publisher, and it's called saying I love you and beyond. Is saying I love you enough? You alluded to that just a few moments ago, and that is the title of my second book, and the publisher has it right now. And I'm waiting for that to come out sometime this spring. I'm expecting it to be on the market.
The women are going to really buy that one.
That's right, absolutely.
And they're going to show to their husbands. See, that's not enough. You're always telling me you love
That's
me.
right.
Not enough. They're going to be doing that.
That's right.
That's going to be extremely popular. You said there are two. So one is
the other one is the trilogy to the three that I'm writing. The third one is called Saying I Will and Beyond, is saying I will enough.
Oh, wow.
How often do we say I'll do something and we never get around to doing it?
So it's thank you, then I love you, then I will.
That's right.
Man, you've got a good thing going on there. That's a major blessing.
Yes.
That is, we'll possibly have you to come back again.
Sure.
And talk about the whole I love you. Is saying I love you enough.
Yes.
Is saying I will enough. We would love to have you back.
That's right.
To discuss that.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think this is a very good book for churches to have. In every church ought to have this.
Yes,
in the
that's
library.
right, in the library.
Every church should have this in the library. And is it an ebook also?
Yes, it is. It is an ebook.
It is an ebook.
Right.
And how much is it online?
Online, it's $5.99 for the book and $2.99 for the ebook.
And $2.99 for it's extremely affordable.
Yes.
It's inexpensive, yet extremely powerful. Well, thank you, Mr. Mosgrove, for being with us today. You've
Thank
been
you.
an excellent guest, an awesome guest. Thank you all for joining us again this week on another episode of Books of the Month. We'll be right back here next week, same time. God bless you. See you then.